and I'll just do a little intro, talk about what the Dana Spencer Show does, and then I'll ask the first question.
So we just talk like normal and it's gonna pick us up.
Yeah, and then the weird thing is that it's pretty strong as far as the mic picking everything up. So you don't have to feel like you have to talk loud or anything like that, but just like talk normal.
This is a really, really cool setup.
Oh,
I'm
thank
really
you.
impressed by the mics.
He likes
I'm like,
mics.
that money. Because sound is so important.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is. And then you can hear the difference because this person was telling me about some of the editing that you can do, but yeah, I ain't really into
Yeah, I got a bunch of mics and cameras and like we got all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we just kind of getting our stuff together. It hasn't really been a priority, but now it's starting to be a priority now that we need some stuff.
Yeah.
I really like your gesture.
Thank you.
Oh, but Joey's mic gets a little far. I was like, no wonder I couldn't. So just say testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are ready to go.
Right.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the Dana Spencer Show, where we talk about building relationships, solving problems, quitting corporate, and the freedom to walk in your God-given purpose. What's up? How we feeling? I hope you were able to get out and get a workout in and get out and get some sun, get your body moving. You got the activity of your limbs, and you are ready to go. And I'm super excited today because I have some special guests with me here today. I have my friends, Mr. and Mrs. John and Joy Mays. Y'all show them some love out there. Show them some love. So welcome to the Dana Spencer Show. I'm super excited to have you all here with me today. And my friends would tell anybody I am a hopeless romantic. So tell the people out there how you all initially met.
Well, thank you for having us,
Yeah,
Dana.
thank you. It's a great
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, we met back in college.
Okay.
We met in college at Tennessee State University.
Okay.
Had just been friends through friends, and then we kind of connected after a while. And
Your story's boring.
you know what? I am like, it feels like so long ago. Like we've been together 17 years, and it feels like it's been
That
so
was long ago. So she ain't gonna tell us the real date. I tell her it was 98.
It's 90. Okay,
Yeah.
see, I can't remember.
So we got together in 98. That's when she was still down in Atlanta at spring breaking and whatnot. Oh yeah.
Was you freak nigga?
Maybe once or twice.
Right.
You're gonna be in the documentary.
Right,
No, I don't think
right,
so.
sure.
As long as they started after 98, I'm good.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you in college, we both come from different places. I came from Maryland and the DC area. She came
Okay.
from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then we were both down there in college.
Yeah.
Just doing what college people do in their way. We messed everything up. We had similar paths because we both
Yes.
came in as full scholarship students.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we did not stay full
Scholarship
scholarship
students.
The life hit us a little bit harder than it hit some.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, part of that journey was us being friends and hanging out, but we were never girlfriend and boyfriend or anything.
Never.
Yeah, we was just kind of casual friends, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
you can say that.
Is that what they say, friends?
I think
Casual friends?
friends.
Yeah, we was casual friends.
Yeah.
And then she left to go back to Louisville.
Yeah.
And then in 2005, it just so happened she was coming back for homecoming. That's a whole nother story. It's a long story.
Yeah.
She wasn't even supposed to find me, but she found me. She ended up just sliding up on the side.
Yeah.
And which is a whole miracle in itself.
Yes.
We were both reading the same book at the time, which is Purpose-Driven Life.
Okay.
Yeah, Purpose-Driven Life.
Mm-hmm.
And we had both literally took a whole hiatus from relationships.
Yes.
And that was different for both of us. So we were both kind of,
Just
attached.
Yeah. I wasn't attached then. You may have been.
I mean, not in the moment. I'm talking about over time.
Oh, yeah.
We were attachable people,
Yeah.
But God had a season for us, and we were both literally reading the same book. And so, when we got that moment, I was like, okay, well, we're going to be able to hang out, have a good time for homecoming, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm reading this book called Purpose-Driven Life. So I was feeling a little conflicted. She was like, no, I'm doing Young Life. I'm doing ministry. I'm doing all this. I was like, really? I was like, look at God. And so, that was a real blessing to us. And literally that was October. And then I started shopping for rings by December.
Yes.
No doubt.
And
she wasn't even living in the same city.
No, we was in different cities. He was in Nashville. I was in Louisville.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So then I kept visiting. I would send her gifts.
He would just show up, come knocking at the door at my house.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm like,
all the way in the Ville, because you just said you're in
bro.
Nashville and you're in Louisville, so that's about a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, I went straight sugar daddy on it.
Yeah.
I'm going come
like he was when I say when he's relentless, like when he's focused on something, he's focused. That's it, relationships, everything. And like he would just show up and I'd be like, what are you doing here? Taking me to breakfast before I went to work.
Not on some stalker stuff though. So you gonna have
not that creepy stuff.
No, it wasn't creepy. No, it was I don't think so. Maybe a little.
I can't ask my mama that, but you know.
But at least you all said you were friends before.
Yeah,
there was a time period that you were friends before.
Yeah. But we were never boyfriend and girlfriend. Like we would. He would visit. We was friends. We had a good time, and that only lasted. It was like a short period of time. Then by January, he proposed.
Yeah, so I proposed in January, and like so we went from being just like literally friends to being engaged.
Yeah,
and then so that was in
January. That was January 14th.
A very special day in my heart. I can't ever remember.
Yeah,
and then by September 2nd, we were married. Had a nice wedding by the water, and it was real nice. Yeah, and then it was just on from there, you know.
Yeah.
So it's been wonderful. So it's about 17 years in September.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were friends first.
Yeah.
And then you kind of separated, and then the Lord brought you back together.
Yeah.
And 17 years ago.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. Yeah.
So we get married, and so you're in Nashville and you're in Louisville. So you moved from Nashville to Louisville?
No, she moved.
I moved to Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, she moved to Nashville.
Yeah,
we stayed there for several years. We rented and we bought our first house, and then we left and went to Texas.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we first dipped our hand in real estate.
Yeah, it was because we rented the house that we first bought. Yeah, we rented it out, and this was all during the economic downturn.
Mm-hmm.
So we had bought it in like 2009, and it's a crazy story about that. I'm super sick about it. This is real estate. You know, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek.
Give a sneak peek.
All right, so 09, we bought this house in Nashville, 4-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom house in a quiet little street.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it for $140,000.
Yeah.
Wasn't thinking nothing of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had to come in and fix the bathrooms up, and then just little stuff.
It wasn't a lot.
Not a lot. Solid house.
Bought a new stove.
Yeah,
new
stove.
Stuff like that.
Stuff like
Nothing like the rehabs now.
Yeah.
No.
No. It was quick and easy.
Yeah.
So we fixed. We did what we needed to do. It was a nice, I think. And then so after that, we lived there for some years.
Like 3.5
but after when we left, the housing market had dipped around that time. That was like that whole crisis. That was the lowest point.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we'd have sold it, we weren't going to be able to get all our money back out of it. So we held it. It was like, all right, fine, we're going to rent it.
Yeah.
So we rent the house out. It was making more than our mortgage payment. So we was feeling okay about it. We didn't really have to pay that much. Tenants ended up breaking bad with the property manager.
Yes.
It became a whole beef. We out of town in Houston.
Yeah.
And so we ended up evicting them. But then that was right when the market upturned.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want to sell it. We was just going to keep renting it. But it was like, we were out of town. The property manager advised us and they said, hey, I can get this sold for you and you ain't going to have to pay nothing. And so we just went ahead.
And we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know because we had $7,000 down payment assistance at first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so really, when we sold it, we sold so that we wouldn't have to pay back that initial down payment assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So we just took the little down payment assistance and check the credit, we balled out, and then but some just like we ended up taking that money, moving to Texas, and then we ended up buying a house in Texas. And when we bought and sold that house, when we moved up here, but that was where real estate started swinging up.
But then the thing about that first house that we bought in Nashville.
Oh yeah, I didn't finish the story.
Yeah, you didn't finish
because I'm still sick about it.
I know you did.
So we sold it for like $150.
See, the help me that's gonna help you through this.
We sold it for like $150.
He digressed.
Then they sold it 2 years later for like $250.
Yeah.
So that's $100,000 we left.
And then what was it last year?
And then last year it sold for
2021.
It was last year.
Yeah.
Last
Okay.
year, yeah. It sold for $530,000.
Yeah.
So our initial investment
Yeah.
of no money down.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like literally we had all the stuff. That's where we tell people, get the no money down houses, get the 30-year fix.
Yeah.
No money walking in.
Yeah.
Our mortgage payment was $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And so we walking in with $1,000, and they gave us a check at close to fix up the stuff.
Yeah. So we fixed up our bathroom and stuff.
Yeah. So we did a value add.
Yeah.
No money, and like literally $400,000 in equity.
So have they done anything to it?
No.
I did some little stuff.
But the bathroom's still the same that we did.
We did the bathroom.
We opened up a wall so it could be
And
more
it
like
was
an
still the
open
same.
concept. Still the same. The
They
same double oven.
All that they did was like a couple tweaks, like that we was already planning.
We was gonna do.
But now it's still 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house.
So it's making sure. Long story short, is like real estate is.
That's where you gotta go. It's like it's
proven.
It's proven, and we knew it was proven, and then so that helped us know it was proven. But then also in Texas, when we bought our house, we ended up selling it like 2 years later to come up here. We had opportunity, and so when we came up here, we made like 40,000.
Close to.
We made a lot of money selling the house, and it was like, oh snap, oh wow, because we weren't used to these kind of numbers, And so when we sold that. We didn't know what to do with the money, so the first thing we do was like, "Hey, well, we got hundreds of thousands of student loans, just dumping on student loan," and we was like on that debt-free stuff, and then we was back to broke again.
Yeah, right.
It was like, wow, it's so aggravating.
Immediately back to broke.
Yeah. How did this happen? Right. I just had 50 grand, and now I'm broke.
Well, that's what happens when you start mixing too many strategies together. Yeah. We didn't know about investing.
No,
like we stumbled on our first rental property. We didn't know about investing. That wasn't a thing that we was passing. If we'd have known back then, we'd have run it up. Yeah. But I'm glad we didn't because we wasn't personally developed enough to run it up. Like we wouldn't have done right by any of that stuff.
Nah, we've been balling out of control.
Nah, I think early on, but then we became massive savers.
Yeah, and
we became massive savers and massive because our credit was bad.
Yeah,
and then we both got our credit all the way up. So out of nowhere. I had worked on her credit, my credit.
Yeah, my credit.
But hold on, you say your credit was bad. So was your credit bad before you got the house in Nashville?
No, we started working on it when we first got married.
When we first got married,
we
worked on our credit.
Yeah. That was the first thing we did, financial peace.
He worked on our credit.
Yeah, financial peace. This is one of, our relationship with money has been interesting because we were friends. So we had conversations that most people don't have.
Right.
And so, that's why we do Mom Pop Millionaire marriages. Like for one, is because there's conversations fundamental to being successful as a couple that a lot of couples miss over. It's like your money, my money. Immediately upon us getting married, it was our bad credit. It was our bank account. It was our everything. Yeah. And we immediately put everything together, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the direct deposits, everything. We had access to everything. We knew everything. And we just worked together to be able to do it.
So is that one of the cheat codes is, okay, once we say I do, it's blended. Yeah, it's the two. We're one now.
That's a best practice. The thing that most couples who are attracted to us aren't new couples. No, they couples who are already successful.
Been together for
really,
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
and been married.
Yeah, like most couples who if you unhappily married, you ain't attracted to us because we so happily married. We're gonna discuss you.
Yeah,
like for real.
No, right. Like they're not going to be encouraged. Like this is what marriage could be.
Yeah, because people come to us and they be like, "Oh man," and they start. The first thing bad marriage, they start blaming their spouse for everything. I'm like, bruh, Joy ain't hearing it. I'm not hearing it. And if we're not talking separately about your spouse. So if you got a conversation to have with me and you start mentioning your wife, bruh, where's she at? Let's let's book some time with me and Joy. Yeah, and or if she's on the call with somebody and they dogging them out, I'm like, that's y'all's problem. You over here dog. No, we don't do that. And so we have a zero tolerance for it.
Yes.
And so you either gonna want to come in with some kind of level of you gotta like each other, or at least have some kind of common ground to build off of. Like we're not counselors. No. Like you go to church, you want some counseling, go to church. We do this for free at church. That's counseling. It's different. You know what I mean? That counseling is like, okay, we want you to stay together. You got a spiritual issue that's causing division. Yeah. And that's different. I'm not going to go all deep into that. But if you're together and y'all walking together, all right, cool. Well, let's help you to accelerate your financial journey. Because sometimes it's just a few conversations and some tweaks that can help motivate you and to get you on track. And so that's like, even when we wrote the book, we have a mom and a pop copy. Why do people sell one marriage book?
Right.
It's like, why are you talking about your marriage individually or with one other person? You need to be with your spouse doing things in unison. And so everything that we do is all in unison.
Yeah, because marriage is a team. Yeah. It's a team.
Well, and I think you were going to allude to some questions. So obviously I'm single, right? And so you said having those tough conversations. So what are a couple questions that need to be asked at the beginning as opposed to once you say I do? Those before that happens, what are a couple questions that need to be asked and discussed initially?
I think that's really good.
Yeah,
Did you have something? Because I could share a couple of things.
Well, I think one of the questions is we did about money. It was like, you know, at first we like, if you're gonna spend a certain amount of money, we had to call each other like, okay, I'm good by this. At first it started out pretty low.
Yeah.
But it was a conversation that we needed to have.
It was like
$25.
It
was like $25.
You spent over $25.
We got to consult.
Talking about before marriage though.
Before marriage?
No, these are good. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was talking about before marriage, but just hearing that
it
still wasn't nugget.
We didn't have no money.
Yeah.
And so we were together. Like we always had people.
Well, that's richer or poor, right?
But we never, like for us, in every situation, people always been borrowing from us.
Yeah.
Every situation. Like no matter how much I was making, I had one income at a time. $14. I was making $14 an hour. Yeah. And I had another job. I was making $13.50.
Oh yeah.
And people still borrow from us. We bought a house off of $14 hour job. Is that right?
No, you were working Cracker Barrel then.
I was making 40 grand stacks.
Yeah.
Big money, only income in the house.
Only income.
Yeah, but we had cars, we had all that. I mean, we've never missed. I'm telling you guys, provided for us
every step of the way.
We have never missed out on anything. But early on, it was like we didn't have no bread, but we came together. Yeah. And we had established that we're not going to spend what we don't have.
Right.
And so we knew we was in the hole, and we was like, well, we're not going to run up credit card debt, whatever. Yeah. And so that's where we started. $25 or more, we had to talk about it. Yeah, what's the other? I think the biggest part is like knowing. I would highly recommend for couples together to go through the Dave Ramsey financial piece early on. It's like just
that made an impact for us. That actually helped us to be able to purchase our first home.
Yeah, no doubt
in
about
Nashville.
It. Yeah, because you cut up the credit cards. It's certain conversations that you can have.
And it forces you to talk about money.
It forces you to have a monthly meeting. Yeah. It's like some fundamental stuff. Yeah. Like the one thing that we liked about it helped us to be able to get over being broke. And so like I know we'll never be broke again just based on the information. But they ain't gonna tell you how to run it up. No. And like that's the part that we was missing from there. Yeah. It's like they told us how to be a stable middle income family. Yeah.
To have
if
all
that's
your
goal is to be a steady middle income family, it's cool.
You're good with it.
But we learned differently about, how to accelerate financially, and it doesn't take more time to be able to do it. And then that your time is more valuable than money. Yeah. And it's like once you put those pieces together, it's like I'm trading a whole lot of time for a little bit of money.
Yeah. And I think also we wanted to be able to do some stuff and enjoy some stuff. Like with some of the things that they really
we didn't agree with it.
We was like, nah, we want to be able to go on vacation. We want to be able to go out to dinner and enjoy each other. Like we did. We was just like, why I want to wait 20 years?
Broke all the rules. No, for real though, we knew the rules. It was like emergency fund. 3-6 plus.
Save that $1,000. I mean,
we was at 1,000 emergency. We was like, all right, we finna live now. Get it, Dave. Right. That was good.
If the car break down, okay. If something
my bills paid on time, Dave.
Listen, it's on auto draft, Dave. Shoot. So I think that was one of the things.
What's different about us too is like even the way we teach. Like we're not for everybody. I'm telling you, if you're out there, there's better people listening to Dave Ramsey. Listen to all the cues, like whatever.
It's good information.
We have a way that
sounds like it was a good foundation.
It was a good foundation.
Yes,
but it's like, bruh, there's stuff that we was in the class. I'm telling you, me and Joy pretty cool people. But they was in there talking. They was like, yeah, I'm going to give up all this. We was like, I'm not. Joy was like, we're not. They was beefing with us. They was like, oh, man, because we were serious about it. Yeah. We was like, you need to live as though tomorrow's not promised. Yeah. And we've always valued our time, and we value time together and time with our family. Yes. And, it's okay, but the time you spend can be hindered by a lack of income and a lack of money. And there's a minimum standard of what you believe is acceptable living. And that's what we teach. It's like, what is the standard that's going to be your base? Right. And then accelerate from there. And so if you below that standard, you don't need to be talking about nothing else but getting up to that standard. Right. But so the people who are meeting us, they already at that kind of standard where they could go luxury living with their extra money, or they could do this. But instead we're saying, hey, this is how you invest it so you can get more of your time back. And that's really the approach from Mom Pop Millionaire Marriages. Right. It's like, how do you take going from consistent auto draft, taking once a vacation, whatever, kids doing okay, to going to that next level where you got options with your time. And so Mom Pop Millionaire Marriages is more about time than it is about money.
Well, and I love the part about how you took Dave Ramsey's information, you got what you needed from it, and then you knew you. Because what I'm hearing recently and just observing is that people take on other people's opinions.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you all were able to say, you know what? We do need some help in certain areas, but we want to run it up. And this is not what you're saying.
Right.
And so we want to do some other things. And you knew that.
Yeah.
So I love that. So how have you been able to, okay, you got the foundation and then move on and do your own thing? So I love how you're like, okay, this Dave Ramsey thing, that was cool, but now we're about to go do our own thing. How did you transition into doing your own thing?
That's all, you know, that's really Master Builder Academy. So we it's a nonprofit organization, and I'm thankful we both serve on it, so we know about it. But I'll tell you a little bit about it.
And so many people, I mean, it's unbelievable how many people recognize me from there and how much it has done for me. So shout outs to Master Builder Academy.
Hey, but for real, this Master Builder Academy is serious because we came in there and we knew how to be consistent and how to budget and all this other stuff. We were good at that. We're good at saving. So we came in sharing what we knew. But we got into a group of investors and they were like, "What are you investing your money in?" I was like,
or even the entrepreneur,
buying properties, owning businesses. It was like we hadn't been exposed to those things.
Right.
And so once we read the book, just like most people who really talk about this stuff years later, but we read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it messed us up. Snap, we poor dad, you know, like we proudly poor dad.
We were proudly middle class. Like we've arrived. We're middle class.
With the mindset though, you know what I mean? Like we had a working class mindset, you know, which was, hey, I'm gonna work long enough, my hard work long enough, and you know, I'm gonna be able to come up.
We even actually said in the beginning, it was like, we don't want to be investors. We didn't want to like those words came out of our mouth.
We said we're always gonna owe somebody. All these words were our normal talk. Yeah. And we said we don't need a lot of money, we don't want a lot of money. And then
you think that's fear? What do you think that is? Saying that?
That was what we really
wanted. That's what we
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't
that was how we was raised. Like Lifestyles of Rich and Famous, like the people I was raised with, we would talk about these people. Like, they think they this and they think they that. So in our community I was raised in, it wasn't socially acceptable to have it like that.
Right.
Like I didn't know anybody who was like, we would go when I was young, we would drive around the rich neighborhood and look at the lights and, you know, just go see the neighborhoods. And it would be like that. But it was never, this could be you. It was like you were just doing it for entertainment purposes. It was like watching a TV show or something.
So when did it click? You know what? The times that we were riding around those neighborhoods and then we saw it, when did it click for you that, no, wait, this can be us?
That was a Master Builder.
Yeah, Master Builder. It's exposure. And then also too is, you know, we in a pretty dynamic ministry, you know, at a church. And so, you know, part of that is, you know, that there's more for you, that God has more for you. And then once we really understood that at a deeper level, that there's more for us to give, but then you can't be God given. So as we gave more of our time, more of our energy, more of our mental space, more of our actions, more of our obedience, more of our resources, he's just 10x everything.
Yeah.
And so he 10x us in the spiritual capacity. And we more addicted to reading the Bible than what people know. We in that mug every day. Reading, praying, our kids reading, you know, we have Bible. It's just like, that's what we like to do. And so for us, it's like, that's the part. And so if I had more time, I would serve more, but I can't have time if I'm hooked on the job for 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And so a part of it was like, I need to free myself so that whatever God wanted. And so now we write books. We wrote a book together. I wrote another book. You know, if it's time to do something with the church or some ministry or community, we have the freedom to be able to say, no, this isn't money making time because I'm not a slave to money. I'm a slave to purpose. I'm gonna go over here.
Oh, I like that's a bar
that God has us to do, you know. And it's like, you know, oftentimes we trade too much time for money. And to have the flexibility to say, this is how much money I'm gonna make is a good thing. And we could make more money. And there's a lot of couples who, you know, they can. Some couples are making a lot more. But you know, are you getting everything that you want? And then too, a lot of times and we don't teach people like, hey, you should come off corporate as the necessarily strategy, because some people corporate's better. If you're a high wage earner, like people looked at me how much I was making in corporate. My banker said, "What the heck is you doing?" I just had a conversation with him the other day. He was like, "Man, what made you do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was making good money. I wanted my time more." He didn't understand the time more valuable, and so I had to explain to him why my time was more valuable. And so you could actually make less than you making and live a more fulfilled and wealthy life. And that's part of Mom Pop Millionaire marriage. It's just like, how much money do you need to be able to get you the life that you want, as opposed to how much money can I make? And then with that amount, how much life can I get?
Right.
Like, how much can I purchase with this amount? And so, all right, well, instead of getting a $2 million house, maybe you just get a $1 million house. You know, at what point is the breaking point? You know, at what point is it the boat? Is it the pool? Is it the, so we don't really.
And I think you just have to know. You just have to know what you want. You have to know what you want. You have to know yourself.
Know
like we went through a myriad of different things.
Yeah, a lot of training, a lot of shared,
and what we wanted as a mission for and a vision for our family.
Oh goodness gracious!
And so now that is what carries us through.
Yeah, a lot of
where we spend our time, who we give our time to, and things like that. It's important because we value our time.
Absolutely.
And so that vision in itself covers that.
Yeah, but we did a lot of, like, we read a lot of the same. We would go through a lot of marriage training. We would consume a lot of the same information.
Yeah.
We would work, you know, so we been on a path of learning together as opposed to learning separately. We found this one thing: if we both read the same book, we get further than one of us reading the book and the other one not. Yeah. And so she could read 4 books and then come back and throw up on me. But if we read one book together, it's like we actually take great action on it. And so we actually, I see the extreme execution, but one of the, shout out to the Secrets to Success, podcast. Yeah. That was very powerful. But one of them, Jamal King, on there, before he was on the podcast, they had a 95 Millionaire. We got that book, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is bars. Yes. Because the book, it was just like him speaking a story, but the principles that was in there was like, you can work this job and still run it up over here. And so for us, I was like, so that was our plan was to run it up in corporate, run it up in real estate, and run it up in other businesses. But really God saw it different. He did. Yeah, God saw it different. But yeah, the work that I did and the skills that I got, I'm still using those skills today. Yeah. And so I got a chance to take some of those skills that, around equity and inclusion, team leadership, being able to do I've got so much executive training like that where I had people training me to do things and teach me to be a better leader. I'm glad. I would have never done that without corporate. And so they invested all that training into me, and I feel like I stole from them. I'm sorry. I gave them a lot of good information.
But you have to think, like, that's why being obedient to God's word is important. It's because we would not be where we are today if we had not been obedient to what God was telling us to do.
That's big,
like, even when, like, he fought tooth and nails about taking that deed.
I didn't want to do it at all. I was like, man, these people are crazy.
He just did not.
No, for real. Like, it's because it's like, I was probably one of the few. The reason I was able to talk up about and have conversations with people about equity and inclusion is because I wasn't scared. Because you could fire me, my bills are in the properties. So I'm like, once that's the problem with corporate people, they so addicted to the check that they can't even come up until I got the needle out of my arm of having to have a check. Then everybody liked me. All of a sudden now you able to form deeper relationships because people are full of it. And they want to put on a persona, or they want to perform for people because, all right, I'm separating business from personal. No, it's all the same. And I just started being my full self. And so I ended up speaking up for populations of people who weren't feeling heard. And I could do it without feeling like I'm going to say the wrong thing to this person. They're going to mess up my career. I was like, I'm not worried about my career. And then I get promoted a couple of times, not worrying about my career. It's just because I'm willing to say the stuff that before, the stuff that you really know in corporate, you should do. And so that's why I encourage. I think the best thing you can do in corporate is to buy a bunch of rental properties, get do rehabs, or find something that you can do that's going to generate as much income or some kind of skill that if you not in corporate, you're going to be fine psychologically. Yeah. Psychologically, it's like, then like one year, can I tell the story? One year they come up, they was like, we ain't gonna give. They say we ain't got no raises this year. I was like, what do you mean? I just busted my up.
Yeah, they said satisfactory.
They said, John, you satisfactory. I said, I'm what? Satisfactory. Yeah. So I got people crying over here. We done made a whole movement over here. I got my face tattered all over the country over here
for y'all.
For you, and then you say I'm satisfactory. And it was fun, and you don't get a raise. And they said everybody was getting a raise that year or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, okay. All right, cool. Okay, cool. But that same month we had closed on like 3 or 4 properties. We had got some sick. This was like we started getting some nice checks, It's like some real checks.
Yeah.
The same
some real
week,
checks.
I was like, man.
That's your raise.
That was your and that's the beauty of real estate. You can give your own self a raise. That's see, you all just took me back to that. Those assessments where they're saying you average or you satisfactory, and you just like,
who is you to tell me I'm satisfactory? I'm excellent, but
then you think about it. It's like, okay, I'm satisfactory. Well, I'm finna take my satisfactory self, with all the tools that you've given me, and go make some money with it.
No doubt about it.
And so that's what we've been able to do.
And so what I found in corporate too is people work too hard.
Yeah.
And I know this sounds crazy, but when I was working extra hard in corporate and wanting to just go, because you're a Black man in corporate, you like, I gotta work. You've been trained. I gotta work harder than everybody else because I'm Black. My results and all this stuff.
I got something to prove.
Like seriously. Yeah. And what I had to slow down for personally, and I would suggest it for many more people who work in corporate, just slow down a little bit and form good relationships, and then promote other people. Like find ways to lift other people up. Yeah. And then in doing that, it takes the pressure and work off of you, include as many people as I could. Yeah. And so once a thought will come to me, if an idea came to my desk, hey, John, I want you to look into this and such. I'm getting a whole group of people together. And all I'm doing is saying, hey, this is the idea. It's going to be amazing. Hey, y'all think about doing this. Who's excited about it? If you be excited about it, they start working on it. And then I go tell everybody about the amazing work that they was doing. That was it. That was the whole formula. And then the whole time, I never talked about what I was doing. I talked about what they were doing. And so they're excited. They're getting promoted. But then also they're accountable. It's like, they're accountable for that. So if people want to shine, here you go. Here's your shine. I don't need it. And so behind the scenes, they would just, promote me by helping other people to come up. So that was my whole corporate theory. And it worked.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing that I heard that you say was you didn't even want to take the diversity, equity, and inclusion position. However, God knew He wanted you to write a book. Yeah. So
even more than that, there's more than the book. Yeah. It's like some of the conversations I've had over the last 3 years have literally changed people's lives. And then a lot of time is you don't know the impact. I didn't know. I still learning this right now. Is that when I walk in a room, and now me and Joy walk in a room, you got to understand your seat changed. Like sometimes I think like, oh snap, it's just me and Joy, and I think about, years ago, I jumped in and out of trash cans to make sure if I forgot to order another dumpster, I'd have to jump in there to make room so my guys and the ladies in this room, whatever, we could work together. We throw these big heavy trash cans, but if it was overflowing, so I'm like this, I still see myself jumping in trash cans and like making room, and just stuff like that. It's just that not trauma of it, but I never saw myself as anything more than that. And then, but you walk into these different areas and then people remember you and they start saying the words back. I hadn't seen, like I've walked into rooms and I hadn't seen somebody in 2 or 3 years and they start repeating back. You said this right here. Yeah. And this changed me. And this is what I did. I was like, my God. I was like, thank you, Lord. But part of it, we got to understand it's a underlying, what's the word that I use? It's like not knowing, or
I can't remember.
It's like a lack of awareness of yourself, It's like basically like we're not concerned, we're not putting on anything. We mom and pop. Yeah. Like we like for real.
We're not putting on airs for anybody.
I'm not putting on, we simple people. Yeah. And so, we can be unaware of things. Of some of the impact. Of some of the impact. And we don't think that the things but it carries with people. Yeah. And it's meaningful for people. Yeah. Because we don't watch our words. That's the bad part. Like we literally, I know. That's what's freeing. Like we just go everywhere. We talk the same. I talk to my mama. I talk in church the same way we talk now. Yes. I mean, and we go on the street, any bad situation. I mean, we talk the exact same. Yeah. And so it's freeing to be able to do that. Yeah.
But what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. But at the same time, we gotta. Now I'm more cognizant though of, okay, what are people looking at you as? And we never considered ourselves. So now when we walk in a room, sometimes your name or your reputation precedes you. Yeah. And it's like, well, And I don't think we see that yet still.
I have to agree. Because just being in some of the, the women organization or whatever, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, not in a way like that, but
it's just different because we're not used to we're not used to it.
Back in the day, it wasn't that long ago when people looked at us like we was nothing.
Yeah,
or like we would work to be forgettable.
Yeah,
like we weren't wanting to be remembered. Like me and Joy like to be behind the scenes. It's like we behind the scenes oriented, generally speaking. Absolutely. We find being just together, hanging out, not worried about folks.
Yeah, we don't need no accolades for nothing.
No, you can give somebody else the praise.
Yeah,
because the thing that comes with the praise is some more work.
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything I can to do less work. And then if somebody gives you praise, it's going to promote more work because there's more expectation.
Go ask John.
Yeah.
If he can do it, they can do it.
Yeah, don't ask me. You ask somebody else. Yeah. And so, that's part of what we share, but time is valuable.
Yeah.
And I like to be as efficient as possible with my time. And Joy definitely does. She's been about time.
Yeah.
And she was really more the entrepreneur than I was, though.
I always been about my time. Yeah. I used to tell him, look, my presence is the gift. Because he would get on me like, we go to somebody.
No gift. It ain't happening. I'm telling you right now.
My time. So like people invite us to like, baby, whatever kind of get together that most people would buy gifts. And I'm like, my gift is my presence.
Right.
Because I'm taking out time. Time is something you don't get back.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I take my time to come and be there, that's my gift.
Right. Because I am valuable. I'm worth X amount of hours. So the fact that I'm here.
But I wasn't even thinking that then. I just knew that where I wanted to be, what's important to me is I would rather spend time with my family, time with my kids, or my family. My family too. But that's what's important to me. So me stepping out of taking time away from my family to come to something, that's my gift.
It's valuable.
It's valuable. It's valuable.
But when we revalue our time, it changes all our priorities. And it changes everything. Because sometimes what we found most in couples is that they are driven, working towards something, and they have no idea where they're going.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. And then we'll ask them what their vision is, and they'll start talking about the vehicle. Like, what's your destination? It's like, hey, what's your destination? Mercedes-Benz, wood grain wheel, leather seats.
Big house, we got the every kind of thing.
You're like, what? I mean, it's like that's a vehicle to get you to. What is the destination of what you like? What do you want your life to look like? What do you want the legacy that you leave to look like?
Yeah, and that's the hardest question. We ask people. You wouldn't believe how hard that is for people.
They immediately stop. And how many people define themselves by the work that they do?
Yeah. That's
really a real crippling thing.
Yes.
Is that people's definition. And I'll ask questions. I'm like, well, what's your where are you headed? Not what your end goal is. Or if I'll say something about vision, they always usually with real estate, people talk to us about real estate. They want to know. Yeah. And so we'll say real estate. I say, what's your vision? They'll immediately say, oh yeah, I want to have 20 paid for properties. I want to have a flipping business. I want to be able just to make money while I sleep, mailbox money. Okay, all right, okay. So real estate.
All the things you've heard.
Yeah. Right. But what you looking for, that's the vehicle. If you had all the money, would you just do the real estate?
Right.
Is that what you would do just for fun? Is it just for a hobby? I mean, what are you when you get how do you know when you've won? And we don't take enough time to say, this is what a winning day looks like. Like, this is how I know I've won today. Because I don't know if tomorrow's not promised. How do I know? I don't have to wait till tomorrow to win. I can win. So that's what we teach. And we teach people how to win every day and on their path to winning and getting to the thing that they really want to do, that they're purpose to do.
Yeah.
So I've had conversations recently with people who set a 5-year goal. And then I've had conversations with people who are like, I just let the Lord lead me. So how do you all do it? Do you set this 5-year goal as to where you see yourself 5 years from now? Or are you more like a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year? What's the Lord doing in our lives as opposed to saying, this is what I want to do and not giving the Lord veto power?
I think the way we do it and the way we share it is really fairly simple, and it's daily, weekly, yearly, and having a vision. And so, like, the 5-year thing is cool, but for us, I want to be where God is. Like, I want to be where He's moving.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like in Job, it says, I was looking over here on the left, God was working it out on the right. And so sometimes our 5-year plan is over here on the left, but He's working it out over here to have us do something different. But we so locked into stuff.
Right.
But you got to have things that you committed to, that you're driving for. And so that's the process of really seeking God for, like, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah.
And so we plan on a yearly basis. Personally, you can plan longer than that, but we plan on a yearly basis. We do a family meeting where everybody's held accountable to their working toward their yearly goals every week. And then we as a couple, we have daily meetings, and then me and my family, my kids, me and my kids, we have a daily meeting too. Yeah, that's just pretty cool. So it's like, we're all holding ourselves accountable and moving forward. But if we need to pivot, we pivot. Yeah, no doubt about it.
You have to pivot.
Yeah, but you got to have an idea of what you want, but that's your vision. Like, how do you see yourself? But part of that vision needs to be, what do you want to do with your time? Not what do you want. Like, that's the one thing about these vision boards that's so broken. I used to see all the stuff, car, boat, you know what I mean? Like, I look like a supermodel and all this other stuff, 8-pack ab. Batman got a 9-pack ab.
Batman.
I got an extra ab.
Right. Silly.
Yeah. This is real talk though.
It is.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you get that, then what? Who are you? So living your vision, as opposed to, I'm going to get there one day. It's like, I'm going to live this vision right now.
So what, for those people who aren't quite sure exactly what Mom and Pop Millionaire is, what exactly is it, and why should our listeners want to tap into you all?
Oh, well, what Mom Pop Millionaire does is we.
How
you pushing me? I was like, "What you want?"
Don't be pushing me, lady. Your moves. She do it. Hey, she managed a karate studio, martial arts studio. It's one of our businesses. She over here about to put this sidekick off me. I'm like, hey, don't hurt me, lady. She be so mean.
Anyways, we help married couples work together better in their businesses. That's the main thing that Mom Pop Millionaire does.
So I have to have a business and be married in order for you all to work with me?
No. Well, we help married couples work together in business. So some people aren't in business, some people are. So it's not necessarily in their business as opposed to, we help them work together in business. And because some people, like, we believe that married couples, if you put them both together, that they're going to get a better result working together than they would apart. Yeah. And a lot of people want to work together as a couple, but so they can spend more time together and have more time with the family, but they don't really know how to do it. And then some couples are working together, but they're having a hard time dividing the stress of that and those responsibilities from the bedroom, from their life, and blend it all together. And so we really help with all those different things. And then also we have a path forward that we help people out in business and real estate, but most of it ends up being with real estate, because most people, when they think of us, they think about the investing part, because they know we both in it.
And so you mentioned the 9-to-5 millionaire. So how have you been able to take the book and apply some of those strategies to get to where you are today?
I think the one thing that is still resonated with me, he in the book, he gave an example about living off the left side of the menu, or being on the left side of the menu when you go into a restaurant. And it's like just being able to get what you want, not worrying about how much it is or anything like that. And I think sometimes we have been so focused on how much it costs, being able to live in that freedom of getting what you want and doing what you want. And I think that's one of the things that really resonated with us. It was like, well, why am I doing that?
That's the big, I like that. She holds me to that one too. It's like, when do you stop saving?
Yeah.
At what point is it okay for you to do something for yourself?
Yes.
And then, we change the way we do business when we stop eating off the right side of the menu. And that means, like, when you start thinking about how much am I paying this person, you're going to find the cheapest person. Yeah. Like, you're going to default to the chicken person instead of the sea bass person. Like, you wanted the filet mignon person, but you got the skirt steak person. And it's because you didn't see what's the quality, what's the 10 out of 10. And so if money wasn't an option, what's the right thing for us to do? And that's really what we pulled out of the 9-to-5 millionaire, was that focus of it. And then also just the general mindset that it's okay to live and spend your time doing something that you have a purpose for, and still run it up and get a bunch of money to enable you to do more of the things that you believe you. Because he was free inside of his job as a police officer.
Yeah.
So he chose to be a police officer. It wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm telling people in corporate. It's like, if you're in corporate, be there because you choose to be there, not because you have to be there.
Right.
Yeah. And so for all the people out there who choose to be teachers and choose to be nurses, do it. We need you. Thank you. You know, and who choose to be in corporate, they're like living out their God-given assignment in that space.
Yeah.
But some people hate it.
Yeah.
And then some people not just hate it, some people are literally there and they're making decisions to make themselves feel better about being there by spending more money. Like, so spending money, I'm gonna take these longer vacations. They give me another week of vacation. So that means I get to spend more money, you know, and so it's all these different things that we get, the benefits of it. I know people right now who are afraid to come off of corporate because of insurance. Yeah. I'm like, them little 16,000, so 16 grand, 16, 17, 20, even 20 grand is enough to keep you handcuffed to this thing for another 15 years. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man, you got to get it together, bro. It's like, you know, you just need to make some more money and then you have more options. And so that's what we're on. It's like sometimes the misconception, it's like people who won't invest in real estate because they can't figure out between, is it an LLC or a C Corp? And they're like literally stressed out as a family over what business entity
to put it in.
And it's like, that is the smallest deal.
Just buy it.
It's like, get started, get a contract. You know, it's just like, you find a good deal and write your name. You know, you'll figure it out.
You still gonna have to sign your name regardless.
You know, and then I don't get this one answer, I'm just gonna wait. And I've been waiting 2 years. I've been setting my business up for like, stop. I got this idea. I'm gonna write this book. Whatever. You come in the program, you're gonna actually write the book. Like, we doers. Do it. And so all that analysis paralysis, stop, make a clear vision. Have a clear communication strategy is what we work on. And after that, it's all going to be about that shared mindset, that wealth mind. Like, what do you want? You know, clearly, how much does it cost? And then coming from there, going into real estate, we go through a boot camp. And then after that, we take them through a year-long mentorship program and a coaching program where we just grow together as couples. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And great results so far. Excited about the people. You know, they told us this is the one thing we were doing boot camps. So we do a boot camp. So it's a cool boot camp. Boot camp's excellent. We meet every day in the boot camp. Every day. They was like, oh yeah, 5 days. No, 7. It's Sunday. Wake up. Yeah, it's intense. I told us it's not for most people.
Boot camp,
like our boot camp is not for most couples. I'm telling you, if you're a couple of you watching this, don't come to our boot camp because you're gonna be you at the 30 day, the 4 weeks, or whatever. You're gonna be close together. Like it's every morning. Every morning. And for 4 weeks, we're gonna have another seminar. And there's a challenge every single day. And you're gonna be on camera talking about it. And it's like, if you want to come together and accelerate, then you got to be ready to put in the work. And that by the end of that, you'll know if you're serious with you and your spouse about moving forward. And so you wanted to do business. Guess what? If you want to get off of corporate, it ain't gonna happen in that 40 hours.
Nope.
No,
because your 40 hours already taken up. What you gonna do outside those 40 hours?
And now this is us saying, hey, come together. These are the meetings we need to have. These are the things and we had a conversations. That's not like overtly intensive. Like they don't leave there like how many people rung the bell and just quit, you know, nothing like that. But you know, we challenge people to move forward, and then we also equip them with accountability and tools to say, like, this is a benchmark. We're gonna finish by this time, and we have a great time. Oh my goodness! And so, but by the end of the boot camp, coach was like, hey, that's it. We need more. So we was like, that was the only feedback at the end. It was like, we need more. And so we created a platform. So it'll be a year-long platform, and we'll hold, you know, walk side by side, and it creates a better community too. And then
that's the word I was thinking.
We kind of miss them too. It's like, man, I miss my boot camp couples. I'll be all sad. I'll be like,
I saw them on Facebook. You know, text them.
So now we need a formal way where people can book meetings. They got questions. They need to reach out about different things, and then we can all learn and grow together. Ultimately, I see us having like this kind of mastermind, like 5 or 10 years, maybe less than that. Actually, it's 5 years. But in a very short amount of time, we'll have like a mastermind, which will be like the graduates and the senior coaches, and like we'll all go and just do trips and like really grow and do different things. That's really cool. So it's really part of a community of people who want to see each other win as a couple. The singles don't like this.
We have singles. Can me and my girlfriend
God, I'm sorry. Really, you gotta kind of be married.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, maybe we'll consider it, but you gotta be like fiance, y'all
engaged, is there a ring?
But sometimes it's like it just be a single person, and they'll be like, "Hey, Joy, can you walk me and hold my hand in this?" And she's like, "I save all my mentorship for couples will be a job. Sorry, but I can recommend you to Dana." We refer people. Hey, for real, we mad referrals. We like, "Oh, you need to talk to this person. Hey, you need to talk to them," because they do that, but that's not what we do. And we do small groups. It's like, look, I'm not finna have. I don't need your money. So start off there.
And that's not what this is about.
I don't need your money.
Yeah. It's not what it's about.
Yeah. And you need whatever I got way more than I need whatever you got. Yeah. I'm just being honest with them.
That is so
I'm not thirsty for people.
Yeah.
I just as soon take my time back. I hang out with my wife every day. I'll be fine.
You're like, we love each other, so we don't really need you at all.
This here,
whether it's one couple in the boot camp or whether we just really inviting people into our daily routine. Yeah.
Well, and this is so amazing because this is just one part of your life, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun. You're enjoying it, and then you have real estate, and you have your premier arts. So, how are you all able to do all of this?
By the grace of God.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll be sitting there at a restaurant in the middle of the day.
Yeah. And it's like,
how are we here? I don't know.
Yeah. But I think really for us is having a good team.
Yeah, a lot of good teams.
We have really good teams that work with each of our businesses. And that allows us to be able to do and be together and do the things that we like to do.
It's not stressful. It's because we got a system for everything too. It's like we talk regularly.
Yes.
And so we having a 10-minute meeting, but I mean, we already know all the stuff. So we not, it's not like, what makes stuff stressful is when you don't know or you don't understand or you got ambiguity about something.
Yeah.
And so when we took all that out, even when hard stuff comes, I'm telling you, Dana, the same crazy entrepreneur stuff happens to us.
Oh yeah.
We just react to it differently. Yeah. I was sitting there at lunch with a brother. I'm not even playing. I took him to lunch. We were sitting there eating some Indian food. My brother, I got a call. And the guy at the plumber was like, yeah, it's going to be $10,000. They're going to have to re-dig out the plumbing line. It's just no other way to do it. Yeah. This was like, and so I was like, oh, man, all right, go ahead, knock it out. Yeah. He was like, what happened? I was like, yeah, man, I told him the story. He was like, wow, you just not eating, this chicken masala, as if you didn't just have to come off the stacks. And I'm like, well, yeah, to me, that's part of the thing. That's part of the business. It's not emotional to me. This is all part of how it all goes. But we communicating. I don't have to worry. I got to tell Joy, we got to spend $10,000 on this thing. It's like she knows. I could tell them to go ahead and do it without stress. I didn't have to. I got to make 5 calls and figure it out. It's like these are the type of things I'm saying. It's like when you can communicate with your spouse, she can make business decisions. I can make business decisions. We keep it at business. We talked about who does what, why we do what. And so when you got a really good communication, when stuff that's not good happens, you able to deal with it. And so we're able to deal with the ups and downs.
Yeah, because it's not like you want to point fingers.
Yeah.
We're a team and we know and we keep each other informed, and each and every, like he may not know the ins and outs of everything that goes on with Premier because he's not predominantly there, but he knows the things that are going on.
Absolutely.
And if we need to make a big, or whatever, then he's aware.
Yeah, so we have really four eyes that we use.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps people, to be able to categorize if they should even be in that business but somebody needs to be full on deep into the business. Like somebody needs to be full in, but the other person at least needs to be interested.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then y'all always gonna be on the same page. Like if you got a job that is stressful and I'm not interested, then when you come home, what's your outlet? Right. So if you talk to me about it, I'm bored to death. And then if you do, it's like, I don't really care. I just want you to shut up. So you come home and you're leaving all this stress, but you still got to have an outlet. So you end up really knocking heads and you don't know why. Or if you do get in there doing business and one spouse wants to do this business and the other one is not really interested or not engaged in it, then they kind of resent you for the time that you're away from them. And then they resent you a little bit for how you came back from that. So you bringing all this stress back from something I don't even want you doing. And then now, so you out here getting them, and now where you leaving me or being the kids or whatever, all stuck out. Now we got all kind of different beef that's happening because we not going after financial success together in the right way. And so, we help have those conversations. And a lot of times the things that people are working on shift. It doesn't like a wholesale change, but it's just a shift. And then it helps to recommit together to be able to say, I'm committed to you, your financial vows and your vision, and you're committed to this strategy.
Yeah.
And that's really what marriage is. I mean, marriage is a lot of different things, but the number one thing is commitment.
Yeah.
It's saying that no matter what, I'm committed. And so, but people need to better understand the details of what that means. And so really a lot of these things we teach are probably transferable to like regular partnerships.
Yeah, partnerships.
And so we'll probably come out with that book or something.
Yeah.
Partner like a married couple.
Let's go. It's good.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and get that documented on the
right. You heard
you can get the before this drops, you can already get the URL, whatever. Go to GoDaddy and get that before this drops.
Right.
So this is a two-parter. So in terms of people who are out there, and I know there are couples out there like, man, I want some of what they have. So first of all, who is your ideal client? Because you touched on it a little bit, but just kind of sum up who your ideal, like your niche market, who would be your ideal client, and then how can they either go to the boot camp or whatever the next step would be for them? How do they get connected with you?
I'll let you take that.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, the first step would be to schedule a discovery call with us. They can do that. And we'll just get a chance to get to know each other a little bit. We also have a book that's going to be rolling out here over the next month. So Mom Pop Millionaire Marriages, Financial Freedom is Better Together. We only sell the book in twos, and it comes with a course that we offer, electronic course. And then also you can have a session with us as included in that book bundle. And then you could be a part of the boot camp as well. But before we put anybody in the boot camp, we always do a call together just to make sure it's a good fit for them. It's a good fit for us, instead of people just signing up like, hey, I just want to do the we call it the financial accelerator program. It takes them through the whole year. But before we have a year commitment with each other, I think we should talk to each other and get to know each other.
Make sure it's a good fit, because that's a commitment.
It's a commitment on our end. And then too, we gotta protect the energy of the group too. And so I'd say the ideal couple wants to go into business together or is in business together and wants to take it to the next level. Generally speaking, some of them have families, some of them don't. But they're going hard for theirs, and they just really looking for the right focus so they can both do it together and do it better. And that's really the ideal client for us. Those are the ones who we call soulmate clients. Like that's what we're looking for, soulmate clients. And so we're looking for those people who we're feeding each other something and we're coming up together. And so we have a formula that works that they can implement, but you're going to come get the formula, but you also bring some stuff too. And we like, that's good. That's good. And so we all grow together, and that's the big part of it. And so I would say that would be our ideal client.
So if we had to put a bow on this entire conversation, what's one thing that you would want our listeners to know, each one of you? What's one thing?
For us, like being married in a relationship is one of the biggest investments that you'll ever invest in.
It's a wealth hack.
It is.
No question. I just say it's better together. Like that's the one big thing is that instead of you going to get money here, you going to go get money here at this job, and you go at this business, and then y'all come home, you do all your house stuff, and then you do all your kids stuff, and then you do your family stuff, you do your church stuff, and then you do your separate individual stuff, and then whatever little piece of something is left, that's what y'all's marriage is. Most couples only talk for like less than 20 minutes a week. A week. Most married couples. 20 minutes of real conversation a week. This is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous, but that's how it happens. It starts with the most of the time prepping, getting ready for a financial gain and doing it separately. But if you do it together, oh my goodness gracious, how much more do you talk? We talk for hours a day. But so our ideal client, just to add into that, they like each other. Like for real. If you don't like your spouse, this is not the right program for you. Go to church. We'll help at church.
Church
counseling. You know what I mean? It's marriage counseling.
Yeah.
But if you don't like, you gotta like each other,
Yeah.
or at least like something about. You ain't gotta like each other, but you know,
you
well,
gotta
most, you gotta like, you know,
99%.
yeah.
Go ahead
Like,
and get your 95.
if we get on a call together and then y'all beefing on the call, I'm like, man, wow, I can't gig on that every single day. Like, that's not good energy. It's like you're not really ready to work together. You know, and some couples maybe shouldn't work together. Like, that's not a good thing. Maybe it's okay if y'all work separately and then come together, and then you get some counseling on the time that you do spend together so that it's more productive. And that work apart actually might be a benefit to your marriage. But you know, some people, like, the marriages where one of my things I want to do in life is make every day of choice life special. That's like one of my life vision moments. And and if I can do that, more of that, then I'm winning everything.
That's awesome. We couldn't close out no better than that. So thank you so much, John and Joy. I appreciate having you all on the Dana Spencer Show. And until next time, see you next week.
It was cool, Dana. You are a great, amazing man.